Hi guys, this is Scott with Android Guys. I'm sitting here with Luke.
Hey everybody.
Luke, let's talk about a carrier.
Okay.
And let's talk about that carrier's phone selection.
Aha.
So today we're going to highlight Twigby.
Yep.
And we've talked about them in the past.
Yeah.
Kind of covered them in a broad strokes, kind of who are they?
Mm-hmm.
What do they provide? Is it somebody that I might consider for my own service?
Sure.
And as part of that coverage, we also kind of unpack whether or not they offer their own phones.
Right.
So this is kind of like a complementary piece to that. If you haven't had a chance to take a look at that. So we're going to talk specifically about what phones they do have, and we're going to kind of break them down into a number of categories.
Sure.
And what we've done for these carriers in the past is kind of put them into the best phone for a particular type of need.
Sure.
This isn't to say we're picking the best phones, bar none, the top phones at that carrier, because not everybody shops at that level.
Right.
Not everybody cares or needs or wants or can afford,
Sure.
something at the top of the line of what's the best phone available.
Right.
So what we'll do is kind of pare this down into the best phone for an entry-level user, first-time buyer, mid-range, something that's going to kind of be a nice intersection, crossroads of affordable and good hardware. And then we'll go to the high end of flagship.
Sure.
And these terms are all relative.
Yeah.
Because these carriers all have different selection. So what might be a flagship experience here might be a mid-range experience elsewhere.
Sure. Yeah.
And then another thing to consider is this is just from the phones that are available from them.
Right.
So if you have a phone that's compatible with Twigby or are considering switching service and buying your phone directly, you're going to be able to use that. But if you come to us today, a friend hits us up on the street and says, "Hey, dude, I'm thinking about switching over to Twigby. What's a good phone for me?"
Sure.
We're going to hit them with, "Okay, what do you want to do with your phone?"
Right.
So let's talk about the entry-level user.
Yeah.
This is going to be somebody who just really doesn't care for the bells and whistles.
Right.
They don't do a lot with their phone, or maybe they just want to kind of keep the budget in line.
Sure.
This is something that says, I like to talk. I like to get online, maybe take a couple pictures, share some things on social media. Nothing too lavish.
Right.
So what do we have for the entry level?
So for the entry level user, we would recommend the Samsung A13 5G. This is a 5G capable phone, so you're going to get that super fast data speed. But it also has a 50 megapixel camera. It's a nice 6.5 inch screen. It's got a good sized battery that'll get you up to 40 hours talk time. Decent size storage in there for storing your pictures or whatever you. It runs Android 11, so it's a kind of current version of Android. I mean, 12 is out, 13's right around the corner.
Right.
So it'll be okay for you. This is a good phone for an entry level user.
Yeah.
If you're not doing a lot with your phone, if you, like you said, if you just want to make calls, do some text messaging, browse the web, light stuff, this is going to be perfect for you. Also has a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack.
Yeah. So that's not something that's in too many phones.
Right.
And it also has a micro SD.
Yeah.
So if your needs change or your storage capacity, that's something that you don't always get on a phone is that breathing room.
And you can expand that up to a terabyte, I think, on this phone.
Yeah.
So, this is a great option for somebody, especially if you don't need a lot of bells and whistles, but you want a solid phone that's going to last. The A13's a great choice.
Yeah, it's kind of it ticks the boxes of I think what people care most about.
Yeah.
Big screen, good battery, decent cameras.
Yep.
And this is Samsung. It's a Galaxy A series, and as we've seen over the years, that's a very popular series.
Yeah.
This Galaxy A13 is one that we've selected on a number of carriers as, the best entry-level phone.
Yeah.
Let's move up a little bit
and
talk about somebody who maybe needs a little bit more from their phone.
Okay.
Something that says, "Hey, you know what? I do have some needs. I don't want to have to replace this in a year.
Yeah.
I'm willing to spend a little bit of money and get a little bit more phone." What would you say, or what did we decide for the mid-range?
So this is, staying in the Samsung family. This is going to tick up just slightly as far as feature wise. This is the Samsung A53. Another 6.5 inch screen. This one has a 64 megapixel camera, a little bit better battery life, and a lot more memory. Now it's still expandable, still has a memory card, a micro SD slot up to 1 terabyte, but you get 128 gigs internal. This one is running Android 12.
Yep.
So most current version of Android. You don't have that headphone jack, so everything is USB Type-C. It's got, good processor. All of that other stuff is going to be great. It's going to get you a couple of cameras too. So
it's a nice kind of and again, this is one that we've selected from other carriers. It's a nice overall value package.
Yes.
When for some carriers, we won't necessarily say mid-range. We might just look at what's the best all-around value. This, kind of addresses all of those things as well.
Right.
And Samsung supports their phones with multiple years of software updates.
Yeah.
This is one of their more recent or newer ones, so it's going to be backed by a couple of years of major Android updates and security patches and things like that.
Yep.
So that's the Galaxy A53.
Yep.
And then we also move into one more phone. If we move into what's called the flagship,
sure,
and that's, again, a relative term.
Sure.
Because the phone that we selected isn't exactly a flagship phone.
No.
It's something that on most carriers, or at least tier 1 carriers, it's going to be more of a mid-range phone.
Yeah.
But it's also going to be the kind of phone that ends up on a lot of year-end best phones lists.
Yes.
Because of what it does offer up.
Right.
I would say it's a junior flagship phone.
Yeah.
But this would be probably, if somebody were to say, what's the best phone I can get at Twigby right now? What do we have?
It would be the Google Pixel 6a.
Yeah, so that's a brand new phone.
Yeah, just came out. This one, it's a 6.1 inch screen, 12 megapixel camera. Battery life is okay.
Yeah.
That might be the one maybe hit that this phone would take. But it is a Google phone, so it's going to have the latest version of Android. It's going to be supported for the next version of Android, and it doesn't have any other wrappings or any other things added to it from another manufacturer. It's a pure Google experience.
And even to that point, Google puts Pixel exclusive features on their phone. So it's almost like stock Android Plus.
Yes.
And it's not bloatware.
No.
They call them pixel drops or feature drops that come out periodically that just really kind of give you even more. It's almost like early access or insight into what's coming from Android down the road.
Sure.
So the 6A is, I think by the end of the year, is going to be, a lot of people are going to say that's probably one of the best value packages.
Yeah.
Again, it's an Android 12, but also with this one, this has the same tensor processor that is in the 6 and the 6 Pro.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, the A is, I love the A series.
Yeah.
As much as I like the flagship stuff, I like the A. This is a water resistant phone. They did take out the headphone jack this time around.
Yep.
So I would be curious as to how I feel about that in day-to-day usage. But 6.1 inch screen is a little smaller. I like that it's kind of gone back to a little bit more pocketable one-hand usage.
Yep.
And Google does an amazing job with their cameras and that point shoot, the different modes. It's one of the more simple camera experiences with understanding the app and some of the features that are built into it. And again, I think if you are somebody who are moving from another phone or it's time to buy a new phone, the Pixel is one of those types of phones that once you do it, it's kind of hard to walk away from.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the Pixel 6a. And again, that's our pick for the high end or the flagship here from Twigby. So they do have some other models to choose from.
Yeah.
These are our picks
as
of summer 2022. they're also they are compatible with other phones. So
Mhm.
if you have a device of your own that you're thinking about getting, or you're thinking I might go with a Pixel 6 Pro because I want these features, you can do that. That'll be compatible with them as well. So curious to see what you guys think. If you think we should have picked a different model or have any feedback for us, we'd love to hear it. But that is our picks for the best phones at Twigby as of summer 2022.
Thanks for listening.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.